On last week, we discussed that we should get to a place of peace, then we should get on our purpose, and then we should add people. And so a question came to me on yesterday. So, how do we get to a place of peace? And I would say, first of all, that just know that patience is just as important as strength, especially as young men. We've been taught just be strong, just man up. But our conditions, our situations didn't form overnight. And we're probably not going to solve it and get back to a place of peace overnight. But there are some things that we could do to get us there. The first thing I would say, okay, from the beginning, God created man and commanded him to have dominion. So what is dominion? Okay, it could start with something as simple as cleaning your quarters, right? Cleaning your room, cleaning your area. Now you're taking control of this area and saying, I'm responsible for this. That's dominion. Not that I take this as someone is giving me an order. Because when you become a man, you give yourself that order. Because you're saying, in this space, I'm responsible. With responsibility, with dominion, now you're able to take away those things that don't bring you peace. You have paper over here, you have a sock over here, you have old bubble gum over there, and you begin to pick these things up and take them out of your quarters. Dominion of the area. These things are going to start to bring you peace. A lot of times it's small things, right? The sun rises every day at a certain time. You rise every day the same time and greet the sun, right? Men are on the cycle of the sun and women are on the cycle of the moon. They're on a 28-day cycle, where with men, we're on an everyday cycle. This is why we rise every day at the same time. And some will call it testosterone, right? But if you decide consciously that you don't want to rise, then you will start to put everything in reverse in your life. And that's where a lot of the problems can come in at. You don't want to have dominion by choice at this point, and that's going to affect your peace. Another thing is doubt. Doubt is the opposite of belief, right? God created man and he wanted man to believe in him. Man is made in the image and likeness of God. And just like God, we want people to believe in us, especially our significant other. But not from a state of false validation. Not in the sense of, I'm not marrying potential. You gotta already show me that this is who you are. It don't take belief for that. And that could be an issue, uh, because those that don't believe in you would cause you to doubt yourself. And doubt is your greatest enemy. This is why God would say, you know, if you lukewarm, I'll spew you out. Either be hot or either be cold. And we are in His image and in His likeness, and we have to be the same. So doubt cannot enter into your surroundings when you're on a road to peace. You have to be able to eliminate anyone or anything that causes you to doubt. That's not easy, but it's doable. It has to be, but to begin to be systematic is one of the main things. Get up every day, you know, exercise, pray, you know, whatever it is that you do it systematically. Just like the planets orbit the sun systematically. You know, the sun up and down, the stars, they rotate. Everything is in its perfect timing. And that will help us a lot. A lot of guys are in the dating scene, and with dating, it's like the biggest topic is dating in 2025, 2026. There's this big confusion of, you know, man versus woman, seem like, right? And what's expected and what's not gonna happen. And in dating, you should not date a single mother. And I want to address that. I want to address, a lot of people say don't date single mothers, right? And I still have my mom and my dad, and I love them dearly. And my dad remarried early, and I have a lot of sisters and brothers that's not of my mother, right? And my mother dated, and my stepdad poured a lot into me. I just got to be honest. And I know life is different. This ain't, you know, the 1970s. I get it, and things are different now. But I was born in 1972. So this is way back, right? But anyway, in those days, my stepfather, we would watch the boxing matches together. Ali and Frazier, Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns. We were in Michigan at the time, so like we enjoyed boxing, and we enjoyed Motown and music, and people would come to our house, and he would say, you know, go play this record or put it on the B-side. And you know, we had this big bar that had the little lights come out of them, and stuff like that. And he would play chess with his friends, and he taught me how to play chess when I was 8 years old. And so when you say don't date someone, don't date single mothers, I would say there are always exceptions to the rule. I get it, you know, just like in the animal kingdom, a lion, when he gets ready to take over the pride, right, he gets to the mating season. Once he mate with, you know, he would kill off the cubs from the previous male that ran the pride. And so I get the point, right? But of course, we're not of the animal kingdom. That's first. But that doesn't mean that you can't find a good woman that have kids. But here's the kicker. This is what I was taught, right? And Jesus said it like this: "My sheep hear my voice, and another they would not follow." That is the key, right? I listened to my stepfather, and my mom listened to him, and another we did not follow. So a lot of times, if you're in a situation, I'm going to say it like this: you're only responsible for those that listen to you. My sheep know my voice, and another they would not follow. That means you're responsible for those that listen. You're not responsible to those that do not listen to you. They don't belong to you. And that is the difference, in my opinion. If you had a dog, right? You bought this dog. You got papers on this dog. And you tell the dog to sit. But your neighbor tell the dog, "Come here, boy." You said, "No, sit." And he follows the neighbor. The next day, the same thing. The neighbor say, "Come here, boy." And the dog goes to the neighbor. And the neighbor tells the dog to sit. And you say, "Come here, boy." But the dog don't go to you. Who does the dog belong to? But you got the papers on the dog. But the dog listened to the neighbor. You feeding the dog, but the dog is listening to him. Who does the dog belong to? You might as well get a dog to the neighbor and give him the papers. Paper or not, though, the dog belonged to the person that they listen to. And a lot of times men got to free themselves. You're trying to manage something that don't hear your voice. They don't belong to you. But you are responsible if they do listen to you. You're responsible for everything under your voice. And that's what I believe, and that's how, that's what how I was taught. And I've been in relationships with women that were single mothers. I've been in situations where sometimes the kids like you, sometimes they don't. And a lot of guys, that is something that they would rather circumvent altogether, and I get it, But that doesn't mean that 100% that a woman that has kids is to be avoided. Every situation is different. Again, I grew up in a situation where I had a stepfather, and I'm glad about it. He taught me a lot. He taught me a whole lot. And, so that's what I wanted to speak about today. That your place of peace is going to come when we look at these core wounds that we have and where they come from, and these coping mechanisms, when we begin to get rid of some of the coping mechanisms, right? Devices, and deal with those things. And just know that patience is just as important as strength, and work your way to it, right? And a lot of times it's best to be there alone first. Work it alone until you get to that place where you can look at the man in the mirror. When you can look at the man in the mirror and be okay with him, you have gotten to a place of peace. Then you can begin to get on your purpose. And then when you add people, you know that you're not going to allow anyone to come in and cause you to doubt. That's when they have wore out their welcome. And be okay with that. Because at the end of the day, you have to have dominion as a man. Certain things you're not going to allow in your quarters. And this is what keeps the peace. Every man is different. The way, a lot of times when you meet someone, they have already been with someone. You know, if they're not a virgin, they've been with someone. Some people have been in relationship for years with other people, even if they don't have kids, and they have formed their way to that particular person. That person they've been cooking for years. He liked his spaghetti with ground beef, sausage, and cheese on the top. You like your spaghetti with the meatballs and the sauce on the top with no cheese. So when she cooked the spaghetti the way he liked it, you might not like it. But if she can conform to the way that you like it, this is what we call submitting, right? This is another way to look at how a person submits to you. As a woman, they conform to you. If you like your eggs sunny side up, but she's been used to cooking them scrambled for the guy that she had before you, that's not going to work if she says, well, you eat it or wear it. This is how I cook it. Then you know you have a bigger problem, right? So that concludes the video. Stay encouraged. There's no one size fits all, right? But I could tell you, be okay with being with yourself if you have to. Thank you for watching this video.